Hey preppers, Homestead Prepper. Um, I wanted to bring up a subject. It's called survival, which I'm sure a lot of you are into, especially if you're prepping and you're storing up food, water, weapons, that type of thing. My question to you is: are you ready to survive an economic pandemonium, hyperinflation, or God forbid, a solar event? And I know a lot of people say that, oh well, an EMP is so unlikely that's not going to happen. Well, that may be true. It may not happen from man-made causes, but it could happen, like it has happened in the past. In 1859, we had a huge solar event, and according to ice core samples, this happens about every 500 years. But yeah, according to these same samples, that we have these little minor events from the sun that happen. I said it happened in 1921 and 1960. So depending on the severity, we could have a really bad. It could be very bad for your survival. So my question is how are you going to survive if you have no income, no heat, no water, no food? Now, like I said before, if you prepped, then you've got some of that stuff, but it will run out. You have to have a way to replenish it. And if you have food and water and it's only you and your family there, you're not going to stand up against a bunch of people trying to take your stuff. So the only solution I see is you're going to have to start or join a survival group. Now a survival group is not anything new. This goes back since we started here. We've always banded together and tried to survive in groups. I would say the last survival group type of stuff we had was probably back in the Great Depression. And of course it wasn't called a survival group at that time, but people would, you'd have several families in one house and they would all try to survive the terrible economics that they had back then. So you could try to join a survival group. There's some out there, I'm sure, and you could probably say, I'd like to join your group, and they're going to say, well, we're looking for a oncologist, and I'm saying, well, I guess I don't qualify. So you're going to have something that group is going to want right now. What you could do now is you could start your own survival group, and like I say here, you can go and buy some property and make you a defensive house, and everyone contributes $1,000 or $2,000 a month into the community so that they can buy agricultural stuff and etc. You can do that, but that would be pretty expensive. You could do that now, or I could try to go to my family and friends and talk about a survival group, and they're going to think I'm crazy, which they already think that. So, I mean, if you're crazy for storing food and water, you definitely don't want to talk to them about a survival group. So I would, however, imagine that later on, if we were to have some type of chaos, that the family and friends would probably want to, start some type of group. Okay, so I'm going to call that a poor man's survival group. And the reason you would start a survival group is because the old adage is two can live cheaper than one. And if you have 25 people in your group, well, 25 people working together can get a whole lot more accomplished than 25 people working individually and apart from each other. So the basics of how a survival group works is, first off, all your resources are shared. You might have 100 pounds of rice and your brother-in-law's got 80 pounds of venison. You might have a cousin who's got some chickens. You never know. So what you want to do is share everything. You'd probably also want to have a common garden, and everyone would be responsible for working there too. And also, depending on what's going to happen, I foresee definitely economic bad times are going to come. Okay. But if everyone were just to share one vehicle, that would cut down the expenses, of maintenance, fuel, and everything. If everyone could just share that one vehicle, rather than if y'all got 12 different vehicles at your house. You could share tools. Let's say I have automotive tools, and my brother-in-law's got plumbing tools, and a friend down the street, he has carpentry tools. Whatever, you can all pool that, and you're going to be a lot better off than trying to get by without that added stuff there. And if you had any livestock, like I said, chickens or whatever, y'all could pool that. It's for the group. Everyone pulls together for the common good. Now, you're going to need a leader. And as I've stated in the past, the worst type of leader you can get is the control freak. And what I don't like about control freaks is they put themselves over everyone else. What they need is more important than the group. So if you have a control freak that wants to be your leader, that's not going to work out. You can work out something democratic where everybody gets a vote, and that would probably be very good. And also, if you have, like for example, if you had somebody lazy in your group and they don't want to work, you could say either you need to do your work or you get out of here, and you could put it to a vote. And if Aunt Margaret jumps up and says, "Oh, little Johnny, we can't send him out in the thing," and and say, well, little Johnny needs to do his job. And if Aunt Margaret makes a stink, and he wants to stay with her, and she wants to do her work and his work too, that's fair. It's not right to put it off on the group. As a matter of fact, that's what's gotten this country into a big mess, is a few people working and a lot of people living off of those people. So anyway, it's something like that. Another thing too is who do you let into your group? Well, you're probably going to have to let your family in, and your friends. I was under the thing that the more people you have, the better. The more people you've got, the stronger you are. But I was thinking that the more people you have, you're going to have more problems. And also, the people that you don't let into your group, the turnaways, they might gang up on you and want to get your stuff. So I'm just presenting some things here that we need to be thinking about. And if any of you have any ideas or suggestions on how to make a survival group better and more effective, I'd love to hear them. This is the Homestead Prepper signing out.